Good morning, everyone. For those of you that have just popped in, we're going to get started, but if you want to check out that Q&A button up at the top, this is where you will be adding any questions that you may have throughout the webinar today. But we have posted a question up there just as a little icebreaker. Also, you should have received, if you registered, a link for the landing page. And no fears if you did not receive it, we will have a link on one of the first few slides. It's also in the Q&A. Right. So thank you so much for joining us today, and welcome to the first of a three-part webinar series on the Modern Career Clusters. I'd just like to introduce myself and then my other facilitators for today's webinar. My name is Heather Harmon. I'm an Innovative Pathway Specialist here at the Department of Education. We are we all have areas that we specialize in, and my areas are education and hospitality, events, and tourism. We also have Dr. Herb Bacino with us, and he is the CTE Instructional Standards and Certification Coordinator. We have Jamie Stewart, who is a Pathway Specialist, and we will be facilitating today's webinar. You should have received the email, as I mentioned before, with the landing page. You can also receive the link on the Q&A page. This document is going to contain all the links for the terms, the acronyms, and the links that we refer to throughout this webinar, as well as future webinars. And so that is available to you, and we encourage you to use that not only today, but of course, as you go forward, planning and preparing for this next school year. We designed this webinar based on your input, and we thank you so much for the time that you took to fill out that pre-survey. We used that to decide the content that you needed, not just for this one, but for the whole series. So as we proceed, we want to hear from you. Your concerns, your challenges, your successes, definitely your questions. So for today's sake, definitely use that Q&A, but just know that we are always here for you and available to answer any of your questions. So we are going to be providing background today, and it is very much a sit and get, so to speak. However, they will not all be like this. We just want to lay the groundwork and provide background. So for a starting point, just make sure that you are getting your foundation with the terminology and the resources that we all use to get this information and data to you. If we can't answer questions immediately, just know that in the Q&A, if we need your contact information, we will definitely get the answers to you after the fact. And then at the end, we got great news yesterday. You can receive recertification credit for our webinars. And so at the end of the webinar today, if you will complete the feedback survey within about an hour of the end of the webinar, we will be issuing recertification credit for your attendance today. So today's webinar is all, like I said, informed and created based on the needs that you communicated through the feedback on the pre-survey. Our purpose is to keep you informed of the latest updates about modernized career clusters. And we want to provide connections to the people that are here at the agency that are available to support and assist you. As we proceed through other webinars, we really hope to connect all of you so that we have a network of support as we go through this process together. So today's agenda, we are going to be looking at the history and the changes, which is going to be part of establishing common language and the changes that have been made so far. We're going to look at the programs and the people that are here to help you, and then also what's coming next. So as I mentioned before, here's the link. It's a bit.ly and a QR code for the landing page. You can also get that in the Q&A, so feel free to hop up there and get that anytime you need. All right, let's get started. So we are going to start off with the history and the changes that we've had. Our CTE road trip to success, very much of a journey for all of us as we navigated through this and as we continue to find our way and get where we're going to go. We want to start off with just some common language. I know for me, coming from the classroom to the Department of Education, my terminology didn't necessarily match up, even though I had the same intended meaning behind it. So we just want to make sure that everybody is on the same page with the correct terminology. We will refer back to these same lists as we go, but for the sake of clarity, we have highlighted in gold the terms that we're going to definitely focus on today. So the first of which is going to be the career cluster. It's a broad organization of careers to help students explore interests and make informed education decisions. This is aligned with CTE to provide real-world skills-based learning. You're also going to hear on a regular basis, which you're probably quite familiar with, the term completer. This is going to be a student who has, sorry about that, the completer, who is a student who has completed all requirements, units, or reunits for a CTE program. And then a concentrator. A concentrator is a student who has completed 2 identified courses in a single CTE program. The next 2 are going to be pathway. This is a person's full career journey. So this is from education to certifications and then to career progression. It is the full path. And then finally, we have the program or program of study. This is the state-approved sequence of CTE courses tied to a zip code. Now, we have also provided quick references for you, and the following are linked up to that landing page. But we have also pulled from all of these sources to provide information to you as well. But they are readily available and wonderful resources. So highly recommend that you check those out. And if you're ever not sure where to go or where to find it, please reach out to us and we can help guide you through there. All of these links are available to you, and we will be referring to them throughout the presentation. The first is Advanced CTE, and the resources and visuals that you'll see on the slides come from a lot of their material. The Department of Employment and Workforce, or what's known as DO, this is actually a great resource where you can find the priority occupations and workforce data, as well as the SOC codes. You also have the EEDA information. This is actually linked through the Department of Education, the South Carolina Department of Education's website, but you can get the link for that. And that way you can learn about the laws in South Carolina that establish the personal pathways to success. The link for Palmetto Pathways, which many of you are probably familiar with. We will have future sessions that will get more in depth with that resource. There's a link for Perkins 5. There's a link for Satchel, which we will have we'll cover that in today's webinar, but also in some future webinars as well. The SRPG, or the Student Reporting Procedures Guide. The Tiered Certification Framework Guide, which we will touch on today as well. And coming soon, there will be a new CTE course and program guide, as well as the school counseling and career guidance model. So keep your eyes open for those. So the best place to start is to look at South Carolina and what we have done so far. So Advanced CTE unveiled the modernized framework back in October of 2024. And this was after a 2-year development and validation process. So from that point in South Carolina, we picked it up, and in summer and fall of 2025, this is when a lot of training went on for CTE directors, coordinators, teachers, and other stakeholders on those changes that were happening with the clusters. During that time, they also reviewed existing pathways and crosswalks to begin the work that was going to be done, as we'll go over. In the spring and summer of 2026, we are in the process of updating course catalogs, advisement tools, work-based learning alignment, as well as program promotional materials. And just so you know, and if you have other ideas, please put them in the Q&A. However, we also have used that pre-survey feedback that you gave us to create and get ideas for what materials you're needing in those areas. We have also been actively integrating the SOC and SIP crosswalk updates from the Office of Career Readiness. And then going forward, and hard to believe we're already here, but in 26-27, those 14 modernized career clusters are going to be fully implemented through data collection and reports and adjustments that we're doing across our agency, and definitely that you will be using in the schools. All right. Once again, I know it's a lot of information. So as you see things, if you do have questions, don't forget to put them up there in that Q&A. This particular graphic does come from Advanced CTE. This is the Modernized National Career Clusters Framework Wheel. And this, you've probably seen it in other presentations, but this is updated to reflect emerging technologies. So those emerging technologies include automation, robotics, clean energy, AI. This is what is going to bridge education to workforce and economic development systems. So it's all an alignment tool that's going to connect the pathway. So within this, we're going to start at the 6 cluster inner circle. These are 6 career cluster groupings that are larger meta sectors that are going to guide our young people toward clusters aligned with their interests. So this would be a great tool for SCOIS, where your students are going to be getting an idea of what kind of purpose they want to have, what kind of impact they want to leave on their community. And this can be then used to help guide them to that next area, which is that 14 career clusters. The 14 career clusters are industry sectors. And so they're defined from the standard occupational classification, as well as the North American Industry Classification System codes. So from there, in the 14 career clusters, you have 72 subclusters. Now, those 14 career clusters, that number did go down from 16, but nothing has left. They're all still there. The 72 subclusters are going to be the groupings of the career areas within a field. All of them require similar skills, but maybe take you in different directions, different types of career availabilities. There are, and this is one of the big differences between what used to be and then the modern career clusters. The 3 cross-cutting clusters. So these used to be kind of 3 discrete industry sectors, but now they are going to actually have implications for all the courses across all the clusters. So they still have their distinct areas. However, if you are in human services, you're still going to use marketing to advertise for your salon. At the center, which we didn't talk about, and it's just plain old white there in the center, at the center, these are your career-ready practices, your professional skills. And these are the things that are starting from pre-kindergarten that we're teaching to our students and that are embedded in every single lesson as you go throughout your education and along your pathway to your career. And I'm sorry, I didn't use the arrows that we added in there. All right, so here's just another version of the wheel. And this is just, we're going to talk a little bit about how we've transitioned to the modernized framework here in South Carolina. So with this, of course, we have transitioned to the 14 career clusters, and you probably have that in place in your schools already, and have implemented it. With the cross-cutting clusters, they are, like I said, integrated into the others. Those three areas include digital technology, management and entrepreneurship, as well as marketing and sales. The digital technology builds skills necessary for our students to navigate and lead in the technical landscape that drives innovation. By integrating digital technology throughout the clusters, our students can learn and tackle complex challenges and opportunities. Every career cluster involves forms of data collection. So not to mention, we also have digital literacy in everything. So you can see there, I think that's the easiest one to see how digital technology affects every single cluster. The management and entrepreneurship cluster, this ensures that businesses across all industries efficiently meet their goals. So they're adapting to market changes and maintaining competitive advantages. So we want to emphasize entrepreneurship. This is going to offer those opportunities to seek out new ventures and driving economic growth. The marketing and sales cluster is essential in all industries as well. And so our students are going to be learning how to create value and then effectively reach and engage target audiences. Now, you will notice the last bullet here, it does talk about how we have updated career cluster systems so that they align with industry recognized tiered certifications. And we're going to talk later in the webinar about that. All right, so on this, this is the same information from the wheel, but this is a grid view. And it's laid out just a different way. Couple things we want to emphasize is that STEM is now intertwined throughout all of the clusters. Healthcare and human services are combined. Energy and natural resources is a brand new cluster. Information technology has been expanded and is now using the term digital technology, which is what we just spoke about with the cross-cutting clusters. And we want to welcome JROTC under public service and safety. And that includes all the branches of JROTC. Now, the font on this slide is very small, but all this is taking our framework here in South Carolina and putting it in that same grid view. In a few more slides, I'm going to show you how to get to our crosswalk, which has the same exact information. But the main idea here is we just want to make sure you understand that no programs have been removed, except for food science. That one is no longer available, but they just might be located under a different cluster. So everything is still there. And go to the landing page, you'll see the new cluster framework link on there if you'd like to go directly to it. All right, so let's transition to programs and people. So we just want to make sure that you know faces and names that are associated with the different pathways. Anyone in this slide can assist you with with any questions and requests about the pathways and about questions that you may have just throughout the agency. We can definitely assist you to where you need to go. This information is also accessible using the QR link and available on the landing page. So please don't feel like you need to jot anything down. It's all there for you. And if you don't know, or if you happen to have multiple questions that pertain to different pathways, please feel free to just reach out to one of us and we can definitely speak to our team members and assist you that way as well. This is just the contact information for each of us. You also can contact our office through the email address careerreadiness@ed.sc.gov. And that is just a generalized email account, and we can answer questions through those emails as well. But feel free to use that or the direct email addresses. All right, so let's get into the framework and the crosswalk here for South Carolina. I know that sometimes finding information, especially new information on the website, can be a bit daunting. And so we wanted to just kind of give you a step-by-step of how to access the crosswalk for the clusters and programs in South Carolina. And so we are going to go to the website. All right. So from the website, here you are, you're going to go to educators, go down to career and technical education under instruction. And then you will go to the CTE programs and courses. Programs. Once you're on the programs page, if you scroll down here on the side, you will see a link of a bunch of different links and resources for you. And under that is the CTE new cluster framework. So just click on that. And it will open it up where you can actually see the document and save it. This is going to have all of the zip codes for you for each of the programs. It lays out the cross-cutting cluster as well as the original cluster, the new cluster name, and the different programs that fall into that. On that same page, you also can access the renewal CTE Innovative Course Application Guidelines and Instructions, as well as the new CTE Innovative Program Application Guidelines and Instructions, and the new CTE Innovative Course Application Guidelines and Instructions. So if you have to update a particular innovative course or program that you have, or you want to apply for a new one, then these would be the links that you use for that. Once again, if you have questions regarding any of that, please reach out in the Q&A and we can answer those questions for you. So at this point, I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Bocchino to share about the tiered certifications and Satchel.
Hey, good morning, everybody. As Heather said, I am Dr. Herb Bocchino. I am the CTE Standards and Certifications Coordinator for the Office of Career Readiness. So I'm going to talk to you about the new tiered certification framework and what's coming with Satchel, because I know a lot of people have not heard of Satchel yet, but it's going to become very important for us. So with the tiered certification framework, this applies to our students who entered ninth grade during the 24-25 school year and later. We call those our 9GR25 cohort. So that 9GR is the year they entered ninth grade, and that 25, that's the school year of the spring of their ninth grade year. So again, 24-25 is when those 9GR25s entered ninth grade. So anyone coming up from that school year and later are the ones that are this tiered certification framework applies to. Your current juniors and seniors who are 9GR23, 9GR24, they still fall under the legacy single certification system. So with this new tiered certification framework, the goal is to provide a more transparent process that links those student certifications to our workforce priorities in South Carolina. It better aligns with Perkins 5 and our Career Opportunities Act, and it supports preparing students for those high skill, high wage, and high demand careers. There is a one pager that's available on our website that's linked in the landing page. Also, there's a QR code there if you'd like to check that out. It's just got some brief information on that. There's also the tiered certification framework guide, which has all of the details about this new framework. So with these, we have 3 tiers. Tier 1 are certifications that are our foundational skills. They might be regionally recognized, but might not be like a statewide hiring requirement. These are things that are early in your career pathway. They build foundational skills. So think things like OSHA 10, microbursts, stop the bleed. Those are things that would be a tier 1 certification. Tier 2, these are more industry aligned. These are going to give you more specific skills that might not really get you the job, but they're going to make you a little bit more competitive. They're skills that are going to support your career pathway. So this would be like Red Cross First Aid, CPR, AED. If you get like an Adobe certification, South Carolina Boater Education Certificate, not necessarily going to be things that you need to have the job, but they could make you more competitive and increase employability with those employers. And then finally, we have our tier 3. Tier 3 are those career ready certifications. These are often required for certain occupations. They are certifications that are really going to get you into whatever career that the student is trying to get into. So this would be like your cosmetology license, your CNA, things like that, that you really need to have in order to be employed in the in South Carolina or in that career. Each tier is a certain number of points. So tier 1 is 1 point, tier 2 is 2 points, tier 3 is 3 points. With those 9GR25 students and later, they have to earn 3 points at minimum in order to be considered career ready. So with the legacy system, they only had to earn 1 certification to be marked as career ready on the school report card. With the new tiered system, they have to earn 3 points. So there's a number of ways they can do that. If they earn 1 tier 3 certification, that's it. They're ready. They've gotten that 3 points minimum. It has to be aligned to their chosen career program or cluster. They can earn a combination of tier 2s, like 2 tier 2s. They can earn a tier 2 and a tier 1. As long as they're aligned to their cluster, that will add up to those 3 points minimum. They can also earn a universal certification, but that has to be paired with a tier 2 certification that's also aligned to their chosen career cluster or program. The reasoning behind that 3-point requirement is it ensures that students are earning certifications that are relevant, that are going to prepare them for success in that future career pathway. One of the things that I do like to clarify is that students cannot combine multiple tier 1 certifications or universal certifications to meet that 3-point requirement. They have to have at least 1 tier 2 that is aligned to their career cluster in order for them to be career ready in the new system. All right, moving on to Satchel. So Satchel is our new source of truth for our state standards. It will serve as the sole source for course standards and information. The benefits to Satchel is it provides a shared language between humans and machines. So you can go into Satchel, you can view the standards, you can read them, but they can also be imported into different systems. So PowerSchool can actually talk to Satchel and import standards to make tracking easier. There's all sorts of other apps and programs that can import the standards from Satchel as well. Satchel is also the location for the South Carolina course code database. So all of your course codes, all of the information for every single course, including prerequisites, including teacher certification requirements, um, course descriptions, um, any additional requirements for any of those courses, they are all included in that course code database. So that is a super important part of Satchel. I do want to note, right now, Satchel is not updated with the CTE most current CTE standards. We are working on that. We are very, 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 very close. In fact, it should be published very soon. We're in our final review stage for the new frameworks to be published. That will have all of the updated standards for all of our CTE courses. Unfortunately, it won't quite be aligned to the new career clusters yet. That will be coming in a future update, but we needed to get all of the course standards updated so that Satchel has accurate standards that are all of the current ones going forward. So once that is published, and there will be a giant email blast that will be communicated all over the place, Satchel will be the new source of truth for all of our standards. There will be training included in the next webinar in the series that'll go more in depth into Satchel so that you can learn how to access it, how to get to your standards, to print them and view them. It is a new platform, so it's there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve, but I promise it's really not that difficult. Once you find your course, you can click on it and it basically hit the print button and you'll have all your standards ready to go. I've made a couple of quick links for everybody to get to relevant information about the tiered certification. So the approved tiered certification list is at this bit.ly link. So bit.ly/SC tiered certifications will get you right to the spreadsheet. We also have the tiered certification application. So we want to hear from you about what certifications students should be earning. If it's not on the list and it's something that you think should be on the list, please go to that application, fill it out so that we can get that added. I will say it is a long application because we need a lot of information in order to get these approved by the Education Oversight Committee. All of the certifications need to be approved by the EOC. So it is not something that our office has the final say on, unfortunately, but we do recommend certifications for approval to the EOC, and those go every January. So applications are due October 1st in order to go through our process, in order to be recommended to EOC in January. We are waiting right now on approval for the ones that we submitted last January. This is the first time that we have gone through this process. This is the first time the EOC is going through this whole process. So we are waiting on their approval. We are hopeful that it will occur in June. Next year, we will have a much better grasp on this whole process, and hopefully it will not take as long to go through with the EOC, but we are at their mercy right now. I know y'all are going to have a bunch of questions on the certifications. I know y'all are going to have a bunch of questions on Satchel. I am available. Please contact me. I am happy to help. My contact information is up on the screen. You can also click on the link in the landing page to the Office of Career Readiness contact information, and I'm listed there. But if you have anything, you can put your questions in the Q&A. I will answer them. Email me directly if you have something specific that you need help with. So thank you for your time, and I'm going to send this back to Heather.
Thank you so much, Dr. Bacino. I will say, as from my role from the classroom into my current position, I learned about Satchel, and for those of you that don't know a lot about it, please attend that next one. It's a great resource, and it is super easy to use. And as Herb had said with the application, if there's anything that you are wanting to apply, whether it's innovative courses or with the certain certifications, if you have questions as you're filling out the application, just another reason to reach out to us as well. Before we proceed on, I just wanted to give you also just some faces of some of our other OCR team members. And in future webinars, I know Dr. Aaron Clark is going to be doing the next session in June. And Laura McNair is going to be doing a session in the fall. We don't have a set date for that. However, if you do have any questions, please feel free to reach out to any of us. And so you have names and faces right here on this page. So what is next? We have a lot in store. So we do have 3 future webinars planned. So the next one is the transition for school counselors. This is designed for career guidance personnel as well as teachers. And that's going to be on June 23rd. The next slide is going to have a QR code and a link for that, so you can go ahead and sign up. We also have another one that we just put on the books, which is a Modernized Career Cluster Best Practices. And this is going to be kind of a breakaway series, but still using these same concepts. And this is all going to be about bridging education and work. It's going to be a little more interactive with breakout sessions. And that's going to be on July 15th at 11 a.m. And then there will be a Power School and reporting update in the fall. We have not set a date for that yet, but we will make it to be so that it benefits your schedules with that information. This is the QR code and the link for the next webinar in our series. And I believe these are also on the landing page as well. So you can sign up on the landing page with the links provided there. This is the next one on the best practices. Also, there will be several of us presenting at the Palmetto Education Summit this summer, and that is in June 15th to the 17th. We are planning on having sessions on Palmetto Pathways, IGP Innovation. There's going to be a session on revised new career counseling models, pathway sessions, tiered certifications. We're going to have a program update, which a lot of you may want to attend. It should be very informational, where your input can be added. And also we will be conducting a session on the soft skills, or those career readiness skills that we talked about in the center of that Modernized Career Cluster Circle. And then finally, our link for our feedback survey. So as I stated at the beginning, you will get recertification credit for attending today's webinar if you get back your feedback survey within the next hour. Our presenters today were myself, Heather Harmon, and Dr. Herb Bacino. If it references there, you have those names there on that slide. We thank you so much for taking time out of your day to attend, and we look forward to future webinars. The Q&A will stay open, so if you do have other questions, you can definitely continue to use that. thank you so much again. And we really appreciate all that you all are doing as you finish up this school year to enter preparing for next school year. Have a wonderful day.